Hi, I am Danny from Goddess Tea, and today I want to show you guys some ways of steeping tea that'll make a really good cup of tea. The first couple of things that you need to keep in mind when steeping tea is you want to use water that you would drink, just plain. So if you wouldn't drink your tap water, you shouldn't make tea with it. If you have good tap water, there are some places who do, and you would drink it just as a glass regular, then feel free to use that to make your tea. But I know I live in Las Vegas and our tap water isn't fabulous. I would not drink it out of the tap. So I use reverse osmosis water or bottled water, depending on where I'm at. So you want to boil whatever water you're going to use. You can do that in the microwave, in the coffee mug or the teacup that you intend to drink out of. And then you just measure out how much water you want in there. You slap it in the microwave for however long it takes to boil. Most microwaves have a beverage setting. I find that works great. Or you can boil water on your stove, either in a tea kettle if you have a stovetop tea kettle, or just a pan. If you don't have a tea kettle, you can very easily boil water in a pan and use it to make tea. So the couple of methods that I've got to show you are, for loose leaf tea specifically, are pretty basic. You'd find them, if you use loose leaf tea, you probably have one or more of these methods. The first way, the easiest way, is probably the little muslin bag that comes with your tea order when you order from Goddess Tea, and I know other tea distributors give it as well. You put your loose leaf tea in there, you cinch up the top, you toss it in your mug, you put your hot water over the top of it, and you steep it that way. The thing that I will tell you when you're steeping any kind of tea, either just 1 cup or more than 1 cup, is that you want to cover your cup with something solid. A plate works. This is a little lid that was made specifically for a teacup. This keeps your water hot. If you go to steep your tea, you use boiling hot water, you've done everything exactly right, and you set it down, you walk away for your 3 minutes so you can steep your tea, but you leave it uncovered, that water is going to cool really rapidly, and you're not going to steep as well. It's going to take longer, which means it's not going to be as good. It's not going to taste as good. You're not going to get all those nice rich flavors right away. So make sure you cover your teacup. The other thing, when you're done steeping your tea, at your 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how long you steep your tea for, you want to remove the tea. I see a lot of people from those chain coffee shops, when they go, they get their cup of tea, and they leave their little tea bag in there all day. Oh, that's got to be gross after 15 minutes. I don't know how people can drink that. So you want to take your tea bag out. The other good thing is if you take your tea bag out, a lot of teas, especially really rich teas with a lot of herbs and spices in them, black teas, can usually be steeped more than once. So if you steep it for, say, 3 minutes, you have your cup of tea, and you take your tea bag out, you can re-steep that same tea a second time and get a pretty good cup the second time as well, without it being bitter and gross. If you leave your tea in there and you put more water over the top of it, that's just going to be gross. There's no reason to even drink that. So this was an herbal tea that I had in there. I let it steep for about 4 minutes. My cup is still warm to the touch. It's a nice yellowy color. This was a chamomile, ginger root, and peppermint blend, my Air Herbal. And so it smells super good. I kind of want to drink it right now. So that's one way of doing it. That same method works for any of these. If you use something like this, a stick infuser, the little ball infusers. This one I hate. I can't stand this one. It's just an old one that we have in the house. These ones with the fine mesh, these are my favorite as far as the ball infusers, because they've got a really fine mesh, so they're good for teas with a lot of debris. My favorite, the way that I steep my tea pretty much every day, is in the shouldn't have done that, is in the Teavana Perfect Tea Maker. And this works basically the same way as the little bag. You put your loose leaf tea in there, put your hot water, covers it, and it's got a little thing, as you can see. It comes with a little stand. But when you're ready to have your cup, all you do is set it on top of your cup, and it presses down the little lever on the bottom, and it pours your cup out, which is what I was doing all over my towel. It's a good thing I had that tea towel there. This obviously hasn't steeped long enough. That's not a very good color for black tea, but that's how you do that. The other way that you can do it if you want to make more than 1 cup at a time is in a French press. This is one of my favorite ways, especially I'm a full-time college student. I've got a paper to write. I know I'm going to want more than 1 cup of tea. I don't want to keep getting up and having to boil water and go through the whole process. I put my, however many cups I plan to have, 3 or 4, put my loose leaf tea in the bottom of that. This French press has a fine mesh bottom and a plunger on it. So you put your loose leaf tea in the bottom, however much you want to use for, you know, I put 3 cups in here. You put 3 cups worth of hot water. I measure it out in the cup I intend to drink it out in, not actual like measuring cups, because this is probably a smidge more than an actual, you know, fluid ounce cup, but this is the cup that I'm going to be drinking it out of. You put the plunger to the top of the liquid without actually pushing it all the way down. You let it steep for your 3 to 5 minutes. This is black tea. This is my Pele blend, so it's a black tea with cinnamon and some other spices. It's what I usually drink in the morning. After you've let it steep for a while, you're going to push that plunger all the way down firmly. You're going to see that you've got your nice amber color, and then all you do is pour out. And now you can leave that tea in the bottom of there and just drink your tea, because that's no longer actually releasing any of the stuff into your water. And then you've got a great cup of tea. The other way that you can do it, if you have just a little teapot, and I do this sometimes when I want something that looks a little nicer than my industrial grade French press maker. The French press maker, by the way, is used to make a style of coffee. It's a way of making coffee. And I'll do a video on how to do French press coffee in the future. So the other way that you can do it is in a teapot. I happen to have some commercial tea hanging out. No idea why. Somebody in my house is drinking commercial tea. So say you wanted to have 3 cups of tea in here. This, I think, is actually a 2-cup pot. You just put however many tea bags you intend to use, or you do the same way with your muslin bag, or even your infuser. I found that the infuser for this one fits down in my teapot quite nicely, so I can actually infuse my tea in there. Then I would just remove it when it's done. The nice thing about this, of course, it's got a nice little lid. It's made from a heavy ceramic. Stays hot for a very long time. You can knit or sew adorable little cozies, and there you go. You've got a beautiful little tea set. The other thing to keep in mind when using loose leaf teas, you should be keeping your teas in an airtight and dark container to keep it away from moisture and sunlight, both for herbals and black teas. You can use any number of things. I have these little round tins. I got them somewhere. I don't even know. I think it was the World Market. They were very inexpensive. They were like 2 cups. And then I just put a little sticker on them that says what they are. The other thing that you can do, this was an old tin from some tea that somebody bought me. Obviously, I wasn't using the tin anymore. I decoupaged it, made it look pretty. It looks nice on the counter. It's a little nicer than just the metal tins. But whatever you need to do to make sure that your tea is kept in an airtight and moisture-free environment, that would be great. So those are the basic ways of steeping tea, either just for yourself. Sometimes when I have people over for dinner, like at Thanksgiving and Christmas time, we like to make a pot of tea or some coffee. So knowing how to do more than one at a time is a really valuable thing. So loose leaf tea really isn't scary. So if you've never tried loose leaf tea before, I strongly urge you to try it. In my opinion, it tastes so much better than those commercial tea bags. And it's very, very easy, and it stays fresh for a very long time as long as you keep it how you're supposed to keep it. So, again, I'm Daniela from Goddess Tea. You can check me out online at goddessteas.com. There will be a link attached to this video. And if you ever have any questions about anything tea or coffee related, I love to talk tea. So feel free to email me or message me in any way that you can get a hold of me, and I will do my best to answer your questions. Our next video should be on some techniques for making chain coffee shop style coffee right at home in your own kitchen for way less money. So thank you and happy sipping.